Already Electric for Life here, bringing us a brand new video, and today, oh boy, we finally got the rest of the Meklord cards revealed from Duels of Gloom, or at least presumably the rest of them. Who knows, there might be one or two more cards left, and while it's not exactly what I was hoping for the deck, it is a lot better than what I was kind of expecting, for the most part. So, first and foremost, I got a new boss monster in Meklord Astro Dragon Triskalia. He is a dark level 10 machine special summon effect monster, 3k attack, 0 defense. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 Meklord monsters with different names from your graveyard. That's a bit of a steep cost, to be fair, but it's not that hard to trigger. Heck, if you want to look at like the rest of Meklord cards, it's a lot better than the previous best Meklord Astro and Mechankyle, who requires you to send 3 Meklord monsters from your hand to the graveyard to special summon himself, which actually sets up Triskalia, which is a really interesting play there. I don't know if people will consider playing Mechankyle. I mean, I've always liked him. He's a cool boss monster. But then again, I am the weirdo who will play just random crap that's in a lot of garbage. Also, somehow, Ygopro already has the new stuff, so who knows? Maybe in the live stream tomorrow we'll be playing some Meklords, which will be fun. Anywho, so, yeah, he's a free special summon basically by having 3 dudes in your graveyard with different names. Once per turn, when this card declares an attack, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and equip 1 monster from your opponent's extra deck to this card. So this kind of goes with how the archetype is, you know, anti-extra deck. But on top of that, the deck has always been kind of more of a go-second deck. I really wish it would have been a more proactive deck in being able to respond to your opponent's summoning more stuff. But, oh well. And this is pretty nice because you can pick out your opponent's cards in their extra deck that will potentially screw you over. So that's always cool. He gains attack equal to the total attack of all monsters equipped to him, which is really good. If, like, you're doing against, I don't know, Rocket, and they haven't summoned their Borreload Savage yet, or whatever, you can take their 3k beater. Or, heck, did they even play Savage? Which one's Savage again? The Fusion, I think? I'm talking about the Synchro Borreload something Dragon. I can't remember what the Synchro's name. Whatever. The Synchro 3k beater, boosting him up to 6k. I mean, heck, if you have Mechankyle out, that's 10,000 damage. That's a lot of damage. And then while this card is equipped with a Synchro monster, it can attack up to 3 monsters during the battle phase. This is what I've always wanted Meklords to kind of be, is these two right here. I mean, these 3 whole effects here. Anti-general extra deck, having a general effect that's applied regardless of what monster they have equipped to them, and then a bonus effect while they are equipped with a Synchro. That is what this deck should have been from the get-go, because then it would have been future-proofed, it would have been fusion-proof, and it would have been so much better, because then, yeah, sure, you still have the Synchro hate, but then you also have extra monster hate in general, which would have been a whole lot better than, well, just general Synchro hate, because, you know, Synchros kind of go in and out of being relevant. Right now, obviously, they're rather relevant thanks to Adamantia, but good luck actually getting this thing off against Adamantia. I mean, like, it still needs a lot of support in general, even with the other new cards. But, oh well. Moving on, we actually got a core, a Meklord core. For those who don't know, the anime, in the anime, the Meklords, at least the Emperors, how they worked, it was a lot differently. Basically, instead of having a single monster like Meklord Emperor Granul, you would have Meklord Granul's core, Meklord Granul's left leg, right leg, pieces, you know, each of the different parts of the body and everything. It was supposed to be a reference to Exodia and how he was 5 pieces and everything, except they were actual monsters on the field. And those Meklord cards from the anime, I wonder if, can I make the anime cards show up? Oh my god, I can. Cool, yeah, see, like, they have different, like, yeah, like the attack and everything. They have different body parts and everything that would act as individual monsters. And if you wanted to kill the actual Emperor, you would have to take out all 5 pieces or just kill the core, but the core was basically supposed to be indestructible for the most part. And we are finally getting a core, and it is Meklord Nucleus Infinity Core, who looks to be the core of Triskalia and Mechankyle, so obviously the Astro monsters. I guess he is also an Asterisk, although I'm still very, very iffy on Asterisk. He's actually playable now, but he's still just kind of eh. But anyway, so he's Nucleus Infinity Core is a dark level 1 machine effect monster. Attack 0, defense 0. It being a level 1 and 1-for-1 target. I love it. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Meklord spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Cannot be destroyed by battle once per turn. That was basically on all the cores from the anime, which is really cool. And then if this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon one Meklord Emperor from your hand or deck with a different attribute from monsters you control, ignoring its summoning conditions. Also, for the rest of this turn, only one monster you control can attack. Well, can declare an attack. This is really interesting. So it allows you to cheese out the Emperors, which is cool. We still don't have any real relevant new Emperors. Synchro Absorption is a cool little gimmick thing with Weisel. But however, I would have preferred another new Emperor or something that was actually relevant, because right now you're still mainly going to be focusing on Weisel, maybe play one copy of Skill on Granel, but for the most part it's going to be basically Weisel all the time, because, well, hey, he can negate spells, and that makes him objectively the best Emperor right off the bat. So yeah, this is a pretty good card overall for what the deck wants to do. The biggest thing is that the deck finally has a spell trap card searcher, which is something the deck has desperately needed, especially whenever it goes first, because now we can actually probably play the draw card. Boon of the Meklord Emperor. If the only face-up monsters that are on the field are 2 Meklord monsters, draw 2 cards. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card. Yeah, this card should have... I'm just happy we finally have a searcher for it. Reboot's still not searchable, unfortunately. Is this card even good? I can't remember. No, it's not. Okay. it's a recursion card with a cost, and it's a bad cost. Next up, we got a new army, which is really awesome. Meklord Army Arsenal of Obligado. This is a level 4 light machine effect monster, 1200 attack, 1800 defense. You can only use each of his 2 effects once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy this card, and if you do, spell summon 2 Meklord Army monsters from your deck in defense position, except a copy of himself. But you cannot spell summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except for, well, machine monsters. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. During the end phase, do 100 damage to your opponent for each Meklord you control. I don't get why they added the burn damage onto it. Like, what is the purpose of that? But... I mean, hey, a little bit of chip damage, I'm not going to complain. I mean, it's probably only going to be 100 or 200, but hey, sometimes that can actually matter, especially in the new time format thingy. But anyways, the big thing is that you can pop him to special summon 2 Meklord armies from your deck, except a copy of himself. And then that will also trigger the effects of the Meklord Emperors to summon themselves from your hand, which is really cool. Now, if you look at the armies, I know a lot of people consider them to be absolute garbage. And honestly, Granel's army is just bleh. But Weisel and Skill's armies aren't too terrible. Weisel, he gains 100 attack for each Meklord on the field except himself, which basically makes it to where he gets harder to kill the more Meklords you have on the field, which is kind of supposed to be the point of him. But the bigger thing is that when another Meklord you control declares an attack on a defense position monster, you can make it to where that Meklord does piercing, which... I honestly kind of wish they would have expanded on this aspect of the armies more, because since if I remember right, let's see here, yeah, other monsters you control can declare an attack. I believe that's on everybody except for Granel, right? Yeah, if I remember right, yeah, it's on everybody except for Granel for the Emperors. So the idea with Weisel, and what I really would have liked him to expand upon with more armies, is to give the Emperors backup, like more effects. Like, imagine a Meklord army that makes it to where, oh, when an Emperor attacks, the Emperor gets like 1,000 more attack, and your opponent can't activate anything in response, or something like that. That's something that I really wish they would have done with the armies. But unfortunately, Granel, he also gains 100 attack. But however, his effect only applies on normal summon as well, where on normal summon he can cut a monster in half, which is cool and kind of fits with the theme of Weisel, where he's kind of backup for the Emperors. But that's, I mean, on normal summon, if that was on special summon, oh my god, pop Obligado, special summon Granel and Weisel, get to drop something by half and make it where Weisel can give your dude piercing, which would have been nice. And then you got Skill, who is, he gains 200 for every Meklord you control. Actually, a Meklord monster on the field, even if your opponent has one, that's kind of hilarious. But Skill also has, he's a giant rat for the archetype. If he dies by battle, you can summon another army from deck, which is cool and all, but it doesn't do much for the deck. So I really like what they had, the idea of with Lizo and Granel, and that's kind of like what Obligato does too, where he gets the armies on the field, and then also lets the Emperor come out, which is really cool. The only issue is that the armies don't do enough. I'm really hoping maybe we could get more armies in the future. Hopefully, if like the set sells well and Konami sees that, hey, there's interest in the Meklords, maybe we could get some more support, Konami. But right now, this thing is basically summon an Emperor and make Kyrgyzstan. That's basically what it does. Because it only locks you in a machine, so you can still keep going on with more stuff. Then we got Meklord Assembly, which I love this art. You get to see all the parts like come together and everything. That's really cool. You can see the core and everything. I just love it. Anyways, this is a continuous spell. You can only activate each of this card's names effects once per turn. So you can only activate this card once per turn, so you can only activate the continuous spell once a turn. And then you can only use its second and third effect once per turn each. The first effect, whenever it resolves, you can add one Meklord monster from your deck to your hand. I really like it how Konami seems to be giving more and more decks Dynamis charges, where it's a continuous spell that gets you a search on activation, and it has bonus effects. So its first bonus effect is you can discard one card and target a monster you control, destroy that monster. I really wish I could just pop any monster on the field, so then if you want to destroy your monster to summon an Emperor, you could, or if you didn't need to destroy one of your dudes because you already have an Emperor on the field, you can pop a monster that your opponent controls. That would have been really cool. A once per turn monster destruction, that would have made this card something that your opponent would actually want to try and get rid of. But however, for the most part, that's probably not the case. Third effect, if a face-up Meklord you control is destroyed by battle or card effects, you can target one other face-up spell and a trap card on the field, destroy that card. So, it kind of ties in with the second effect where you can discard a card, pop one of your own Meklords, get one of the Emperors out on the field thanks to their own effect, and then also get to pop a spell or trap card that like your opponent controls. That is really nice. I like this card overall. I definitely feel like it's a 3-of just for the fact it's a searcher, which is something the deck needed really bad. This deck needed a big overhaul, and I was actually getting ready to do an archetype overhaul soon, so I'm happy to see that Konami actually gave the deck a bit of an overhaul here. It still needs some support, though. So, anyways, yeah, really good card overall. Also, basically sets up for Triskalia right away, because you discard a dude, pop a dude, and then get a dude on the field, and then, you can get another dude in the graveyard. Next up, we got Meklord Control. It's a quick play spell card. Really freaking awesome artwork here with Mech and Kyle seemingly fighting off Stardust and Red Dragon Archfiend's attacks, which I just love. That is really cool. Anyways, it's a quick play spell card. You can only activate this card once per turn. Target one Meklord monster you control. That monster's attack becomes equal to the total original attack of all Meklord monsters on the field. On your field, But your opponent takes no battle damage from battles involving that monster until the end of this turn. I really wish you could do damage with it. This deck needs to be able to get some damage in. It's a very slow-paced control deck, and I don't feel like this new support does enough to really mitigate that. And this would have been a nice way to try and get in some big damage and actually encourage you to play the armies. But yeah, that doesn't... the way I see it, it's basically just going to be a quick play honest to keep your Emperors alive during your opponent's turn. And I think that's kind of the point of it, because you see Mech and Kyle kind of just boosting himself to deflect the 2 attacks and save himself from getting killed. So that's probably the idea of it. Oh, your opponent attacks your Emperor, you flip this during damage calc. Oh, hey, cool, I have a 5500 in Weisel. Okay, you can't kill me now. I get the feeling that's the point of it. Anyways, if it's in the graveyard, if a Meklord monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So this makes it really good discard fodder for Assembly, because honestly the first effect's not too great, but there's better discard fodder out there you can use, and also, honestly, like, I don't know, I like the idea of the first effect, but I really wish you could do damage too. And then for the final card, we got the trap card. Oh, hey, they're reprinting all the old guys too. That's awesome. We got the trap card, Cruel Mercy of the Meklord Astro. It's a normal trap card, and then first and second effect of this card's name can only be used once per turn each. Target 3 Meklord monsters in your graveyard with different names. Either add those targets to your hand or special summon them, ignoring the summoning conditions. But you cannot special summon monsters until the end of your next turn, except Meklord monsters. If you control a Meklord Astro monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, destroy one synchro monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. So its second effect, I really wish you could destroy any monster, and then if it happened to be a synchro, to do burn damage, because then you could get a pop, and then, oh, you get a bonus effect if it's a synchro you destroy. But it just doesn't. You gotta pop a synchro in particular. that's not particularly great. I do love this card's artwork a lot. I love the design of Astro Dragon, but he's never been particularly good enough to play. He is playable now. So let's go ahead and talk about the Astro. So I already talked about Mech and Kyle. You send 3 Meklords, special summon himself from the hand. And then once per turn, you can target a synchro monster your opponent controls to equip it to him, like most of the Emperors. Actually, all the Emperors. This card gains attack equal to the combined attack of the monsters equipped to it. Once per turn, during your standby phase, you can send one of those equipped monsters you control to the graveyard to inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack, though you cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. The big thing is that you're mainly just using him to suck up monsters and have a big beefy boy, so you don't really care about the secondary effect where you send dudes to burn damage. We already talked about Triskalia. And then there's the Astro Dragon Asterisk. He cannot be normal summon or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by controlling 3 or more Meklords. So you can kind of see where that's going. Mech and Cal summons himself by sending 3. Triskalia banishes 3 from graveyard. And Asterisk requires you to have 3 on the field. And when this card is special summoned, you can target any number of Meklords you control, except him, send those targets to the graveyard, and if you do, this card's attack becomes a combined original attack of the monster sent to the graveyard by this effect. Each time a synchro monster is special summoned, inflict 1,000 damage to the summoning player. So he's an interesting card. I still don't think he's worth playing. He can potentially again set up for Asterisk, because like you, for instance, with Cruel Mercy of the Meklord Astro, you flip it over, spell summon 3 dudes from your graveyard, flips over to your turn, because you'll probably do this during the end phase. Summon Asterisk, send a 3 to the graveyard, get a super beefy dude by sending, I don't know, one Weisel, 1 Granule, and 1 skill, or probably even better, Obligado, because then you'll have, let's see here, that's 28, that's 4,600, you'll have a 4,600 beater, and then you banish the 3 from your graveyard for Triskalia, and then you have a 3,000 beater, so that could make for some really interesting plays there. I don't know, I feel like there's some stuff to really mess around with. And then there is, of course, still Synchro Absorption, who I'm still very mixed on. This thing should have been much better, but I digress. Again, looking back at the old spells, there is Boon of the Meklord Emperor, which becomes much more playable with this new support, because now it's searchable, because you can search out it with good old Core, wherever that is. There it is, Infinity Core. Because Core on summon will search out Boon, and then you can summon out another dude, and then, well, get to draw 2. That's the idea, hopefully, but, I mean, there's better things to do. Like, you can search out, I don't know, good Assembly to be able to search out another monster. You know, there's tons of things you can do with it. Reboot's still not searchable, so it's still not worth playing. You basically shuffle a Meklord from your hand into the deck, and then add a Meklord card from your graveyard to your hand. It is any Meklord card, so you can add like the spells and traps and stuff. It doesn't have to be monsters, so that can be good in certain circumstances, but it's a neg 1, so I don't know if people are going to be considerate of playing it. Then there's the Resolute Meklord Army. This card's kind of underrated for the archetype. All attack position armies you control cannot be destroyed by battle, and their effects are negated. So you basically make it to where your opponent has to kill them by card effect unless they destroy Resolute Meklord Army. And then if they do, you summon the Emperors, which is really interesting. It does defeat the purpose, though, of giving the Emperors bonus effects while you have the armies out, so I don't know. Then there's Meklord Fortress. They gave this deck 2 field spells for some reason. Meklord Fortress makes it where Emperors cannot be targeted by the effects of Synchro monsters. And if it's destroyed by and sent to the graveyard, you can add a Meklord Emperor from your deck to your hand. And this combos really well with Assembly, too, because you can pop it after destroying one of your own monsters to then get another search. For T-Spell, it lets you spell summon an army from your hand once a turn. Honestly, I think this is the better of the field spells. Chaos Infinity summons a dude from your deck after changing everybody to attack position, which is really cool, but then it gets destroyed during the end phase, and the whole point of that is to be able to summon an Emperor. Mechanized Blast, this is probably one of their best trap cards. You target a Meklord you control, and one card your opponent controls, destroy them, and then of course that'll summon an Emperor. And then there's Meklord Factory, which actually got reprinted as an Ultra or Super, I can't remember which, way back in Legendary Collection 5Ds. And it does, when a Meklord monster on the field is targeted for an attack, target an army in your graveyard, add that target to your hand and destroy the attack target. I hate how it has to target specifically an army, but again, it does special summon. It does enable you to special summon an Emperor pretty easily. So there is a lot of options with Meklords. They're one of the larger bad archetypes out there, and I feel like there's enough here to maybe make a fun little rogue deck, which I'm going to obviously be messing around with. I mean, I've messed around with them before, but now the deck actually has plays. So what do you guys think about the new stuff? Do you think there's enough here to really be able to make a good deck out of? Honestly, I think the deck still needs like another good 3 or 4 cards. I wish they'd do the the Malefic treatment and give them a continuous spell that says Meklord Emperors can target any monster summoned from the actual deck for their effects that would target a monster that specifically states Synchro Monster or something. You know what I mean? I digress. What do you guys think? Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And peace out. Thank you all for watching the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And see y'all later.